Alright, fresh back from Doughboy Restorations, my cross member. Hopefully now I can get it bolted back in and everything will be clearanced and good to go. So let's see how it fits. Alright, well, it's been quite a few days. Got the exhaust all re-welded up and the cross member back in, exhaust bolted on. On to the next part of the project. Alright, we're back to this point again. Intake's bolted back on. Let's get the distributor in. Well, new day. I don't even remember where I left off last. My old heads with these headers, I had to get some shorty plugs. So Excel makes shorty plugs, and I had the 416S's, I think it was. Well, those are tapered seat, and these AFR heads, you can't use tapered seat in. So I had to get the 576S XLs, and they clear. Everything seems to be good to go now. Got the distributor in. Need to get the cap put back on. Start finishing this thing up finally. Also forgot to mention on the AFR heads, they require 3/4. These were only 0.460. These are 0.750. So these wouldn't have worked because they were tapered and they didn't go far enough in. Alright, distributor's in, plug wires are on. Get the carburetor back on there. Alright, neighbor's mowing, carb's on, throttle bracket's on. Move on to getting this new throttle cable linkage the correct length. Alright, we got the belt back on. Still got to do fuel line up to the motor. Still got to put my brace bar back in here, radiator in here, transmission cooler, fill up the transmission, and still got to do the throttle cable. Alright, got the vacuum line hooked back up to the transmission. Fuel line is hooked up to the pump. Don't know if the stock fuel pump is going to be enough for this thing, but we'll be giving it a shot. Alright, radiator supports back in. Go get the radiator. I almost have the radiator bolted all the way back in. Then I got to put the electric fan back on, put transmission fluid in it, do something with these wires before I hook the battery back up, and put the hoses on. I think I'll be ready to fire it. Alright, we're moving along. Radiator is bolted in, fan is bolted on. Still need to plug up the fan, fix and put on the radiator hoses. Alright, got the upper and lower hoses on. Now got to get the transmission cooler mounted and get the transmission filled up. Alright, got the battery on charge since it's been sitting here for a couple months. Got the transmission cooler mounted and hooked up. Not exactly the way I wanted to do it, but if I would have put any more braces to mount it to, that would have just added more weight back to the car anyway. So gotta fill up transmission, put some water in the radiator, finish this little bit of wiring I got. Alright, well, we got the radiator filled up and the transmission with enough fluid in it to start it. Tried firing it up and got nothing. So either there's something else I've forgotten to hook up, or something about the wiring to this starter is a little different. So now I got to look into that. Alright, update on the 55. I tried to jump the starter with a screwdriver and it is not doing anything. So I think I know where to start now. Alright, as you can tell, quitting for the day. Got the starter pulled off. It won't even do anything sitting on the bench, so guess I found my problem. Now I gotta try to fix it or get another one. Alright, well, I do still have two things left that I need to do that I can work on while I'm waiting on the starter situation, and one of them is cutting my throttle cable to the proper length, and the other one is wiring up and installing the button for the line lock, but I don't feel like doing that one today, so let's work on the throttle cable. Alright, got it hooked up. Now I got to get the throttle return spring and bracket hooked up. Test this thing, make sure I got full throttle. Alright, it's all hooked up, tested. We got full throttle. Got the throttle return spring hooked up. I did not, however, install the bracket because I was going to put it on this bolt here, but didn't work out right. Thought about doing this one. Hose is kind of in the way. Getting late in the day and I'm just kind of lazy, so I hooked it back up like the guys before me had it. That'll do good enough for now. That just leaves hooking up the line lock. Got to run these wires inside, figure out where I'm going to put the button, and get all the wires hooked up in there. Thought about putting the button on the steering wheel, but I don't know if I want to drill any holes and have to deal with a cord that constantly wraps back and forth like I used to have to do with my nitrous that was on the steering wheel back in the Camaro. So I might just put it on the dash like Rodney did the Lincoln, or might put it back on the shifter like I did in McNugget. Probably be the best bet, put it back on the shifter. Nice and out of the way and easy to reach. Doesn't look too easy to reach on the dash. Looked like he had to lean kind of far to reach his, so I don't think I want to be in that boat. Alright, new day. Here's where we are. I went and had the starter tested, and it tested fine 4 times. So I'm back here to now it's either a ground issue or the battery. So I've added another ground strap from the motor to the frame, and I also have one on the back of the engine. So let's bolt the starter back up and give it another shot. Alright, after taking the battery and having it tested, it tests good. And I finally tracked down where the problem's at. It's the ignition switch. That's, I don't know, 6 months old or whatever. Something's going on with it, so I'm fixing to pull it out and see if I can figure out what's going on. Alright guys, I don't know what's wrong with the ignition switch. We're gonna end the video here for now, and I'll update you whenever I get past this point. The ignition switch is probably only 6 months old, so I don't know why it's malfunctioning or what's going on. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for the likes, thanks for the comments. We'll see you next time.